not like us. They 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 not like us. We got that work. We got that work. We got that work. We got that work. Just watch us cook. TSL, competitor shook. So look, come check us out on Saturday. See what the hype's about. We doper than you. DMVPG come through. Y'all not nicer than us. You got more views, but you still look sus. We got the OGs riding. No puss here, cause here we still slide. No hide. We got that work. No sponsor logo on a shirt. Go support Garvey and Gabby Mo. Can't work Katrina. Now watch us go. R.I.P. Chuck Brown. Gotta pay homage for that DMV sign. They not like us. 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 We got that work. We got that work. We got that work. We got that work.
We roll them in and out, no doubt, without question. Talk to everybody from any fucking session, from VA to DC and PG. Look up in the sky, it's stars on the scene. Going state to state, you can't see the dream. We flooding up the hood, can't possibly know what I mean. Look, Vato, we coming for the cream, no diddy. Setting up the table for the game, is you with me? Bangs on the beat anytime we step in it. No slack in the lyrics, we just go get it. Let it bang, we did it. Industry upended. The show goes on without us, don't feel it. Shooting up the city, no cap, it's the district. 80 Mason dot one mission. Crank the city. No cap, it's the district. 80 Mason dot one mission. Crank the city.
They not like us. 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 We got that work. We got that work. We got that work. We got that work.
Fuck them other niggas. I ain't worried about the TSL shit going live. I know you heard about them really getting straight to the bands. You wanna argue about it, grown niggas crying for attention. Now let's talk about it when it come to doing this music. Y'all ain't fucking with me, really gatekeepers over here for the DMV. Really love the guests in the tops, they love the energy. Move low key in the streets, I'm like the centipede. And it's in the pounds of the tree, I'm like the dispensary. Ain't no sponsor for none of the streets or the industry. Throw the shit on all year, I'm in Balenciaga. See by both my wife VS1, she like simplicity. Fuck these other niggas pretending they acting finicky. I done son a lot of you niggas, they like my mini-me's with the turkey bags and the link. Or my fashionista, switch the hustle up on these niggas, I'm in the botany. Middle finger up in the sky, fuck creating peace.
They not like us. 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 We got that work. We got that work. We got that work. We got that work.
Yeah, Team Sack, playing in the air, baby. Let's go. Every Saturday, got dope content. No gossip over here, that's female shit. OG's blessings, score blunt and dink. That's DMV shit that'll make you think. We got topics on topics, best of the guests. Garvey, you the chosen one with the flex. Got credit work Katrina, style breaking necks. Y'all ain't know, it's Mace Man, O.80 J, and we on Rip Radio. Mixed with the trunk with no debate. We gon' rock the boat. Look, J too funny, Joe Jack with jokes. Gas hunters with the gas, man, y'all ready to smoke? Yeah, and you know what? Okay, we the best podcast out, no joke. Yeah.
They not like us. 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 They not like us.
Cheers, 30, OL, 3-0, Sister Ted Taylor, Village Style Entertainment, in association with Hypnotic Music, baby. Know what I'm saying? It's my second time around right here. Guaranteed to put it down on this motherfucking track right here. Look at it. I like to welcome everybody to my humble abode. Make yourself at home while I whip this shit over the stove. Taking notice to all the niggas that's in front of the house. Every one of
I'm strapped and ready to empty him out. Right up under the couch cushion is a 40, a 45, 357, a 9, a shotty, and oh my God, a 50 caliber chrome. The finish is desert heat. Something fully automatic to carry 223. Murder land, rockabye baby. 36 ounces and cutting crack crazy. I played with the blades in my skin raw. Then saw massive amounts of my homies go in for a lead with possession, intent to distribute a dangerous substance. For you, this is tribute. This is a public service announcement. Get it together, time ain't forever. 30 found it right up in your ass. Is where I'm trying to get. Sick of getting overlooked. Look what I've been through. Broken, disgusted, homeless and hungry. Cold and hot at the same time. They don't want beef. Nothing left to lose but my life, and I'm done with it. Run with it. Caught him with his back turned, gun hit it. And he ain't even hit a shot for his body drop. And ain't nobody call the cops till it's all stop. That's how they play it in my hood. Think I'm joking, and hammers ain't the only thing that's smoking. 30-30, don't talk to police. I wish it was universal. Thought a nigga was real, a hell of a good rehearsal. Knowing how this movie is, and still I play the star and rolling Olio's way. Costa Nostra, VSC, the main man, rockin' Murderland. Forget about it, it's Nathan, motherfucker. And that's that motherfucking real shit. If any motherfucking nigga out there told you that he got some motherfucking shit hotter than that, he told you a motherfucking lie. You need to take that motherfucking shit that you just bought from him right back to him and slap him in his motherfucking face with it. That's that real shit right there. That's that villain style shit right there. That's that glass manor shit right there. That's that PG County shit right there. That's that Murderland shit right there. I don't give a fuck what part of Murderland you in, nigga. I don't give a fuck what part of the drama city you in, nigga. What part of VA you in, nigga. You better get with it or get bullshitted. This 30-30. Olio, tit for tat Taylor. Get used to the motherfucking name, cause you gonna be hearing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Villain style for life. Fuck.
Welcome. We are back here again, right? Thank you for everyone joining me here on TSL, where we are the voice of the entire DMV, right? Yes. That includes Baltimore, and yes, that includes Washington, D.C., right? I am your host. I am your pilot, the Dude 80. And we have a special one for you here today, right? Okay. All right. This is episode 101/30 here on RIP Radio, right? Salute to the good Trump, and salute to RIP Radio for having us here again, right? Okay. All right. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but once you do this podcast and you have all these lights is hot. Like, so now I know why all these celebrities be having glasses and all that shit, because the lights be hot and bright, right? So okay. So we have a special guest scheduled for today. But you know how life be lifing. If things change, then we will pivot accordingly, right? We will pivot. Okay, all right. So before our guest shows up, PSA, right? PSA. I wanna perfect. We do have our guest in the back. So before we bring him up, PSA, right? PSA. Salute to all the people from the DMV who does podcasts, who does, like radio and all this. Like, and who's spotlighting artists from the DMV, right? I was um I was rapping to Killer Cow earlier, right? And I told him that to be totally honest, I appreciate that the outsiders who got motion, I really appreciate that they overlooked us, and left it for us to promote us, right? It's up to us to promote us. And what I'm seeing online, I'm seeing a lot of love for the DMV artists, a lot of podcasts, it's too many, but salute to everybody who is promoting us, right? I've never been that person to hate. It's not me. It's money out here for everybody. We all can eat. I'm just here to throw alley oops, right? Like, get over that hate shit. Get over that DC or nothing. All these, and like, bro, get over that, bro. Get over that. Like, this is a team, right? This is a team, and as soon as you figure that out, you will progress, right? You will progress, right? Okay, all right. So, special time today. We started an hour early. Usually we start at 8, but just for today, we are starting a little early, so we will finish a little early because the good Trump got things to do later. So we're not gonna hold them up. So, but like I said, special guests coming up now. Salute to our past guests. Salute to Uptown XO. Another one. Like, but I don't think you guys really understand how dope these artists are. Like, I don't think you guys really understand, for real. Like, these artists are really, really dope, right? So I'm just glad that we are promoting us. Like, so let us promote us, right? Okay, so let's do it. Let's not even waste any more time. Good Trump. Let's bring our special guest on. Get this plane in the air. There we go. Look a little. Okay, little dark, but I see you. What's good, my dude? How you doing?
What's happening with you, soldier?
Man, cooling, man. Like I was saying earlier, like, it's so many dope artists in the area that people don't know their story, their journey, and you are another one of those dope artists from the area. Just people really got to do their homework. Listen to your catalog, and you'll be surprised. Like, Like, these dudes out here are really, really doing it, right? So before we even get started, let's introduce yourself to the family, please, sir.
3030, the Murderland Prince at your service, man. Villain Style affiliate. Villain Style that's my I don't know if you know, a lot of people might not be familiar with the Villain Style, but it's a deep meaning behind the word Villain Style. That's an acronym to it. Very intelligent, living legends, inspiring a Negro society, teaching you lessons eternally. That's Villain Style right there. That's what we represent, and that's not just like, that's not no gang or nothing like that. That's a way of life. We grew up in the Glass Manor community right there in Oxon Hill, Maryland, and this is just like, that's just how we lived our, when we first started that's how we crafted our style. That's how we crafted our sound. And that's basically like the lifestyle that we was living in our neighborhood. When people hear Villain Style, you can take whatever you want to take from it, but to actually know what it really means, I think that a lot of people, when they initially look at it, it might seem like something negative, but it's really not. It's just a way for us to connect with the people that we, trying to lead and teach and learn from. It's a way for us to it's a way for us to connect.
Dope, like Tupac and Thug Life.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Okay. So let's do it. Let's tap into your story, my guy. Okay, all right. So the name, where did the name come from?
3030.
Yes, sir.
3030 is a rifle. It's a firearm. And initially when I first started music, I wasn't 30. I didn't even have a rap name because I didn't even really know that I was going to be rapping. The only reason why I initially started to do music was was because of a couple of the guys in the neighborhood, YVC, Young Villain Clique. That's what it was known as back then. But you know, they was rapping and they sounded so damn good. And I'm just like, damn, man, y'all sound like y'all already like, you know, it's just to actually know somebody that sound the way that they did it inspired me a lot. And I was always good at reciting lyrics. You know, my favorite artists, NWA, Tupac, Scarface. Like I was always good at like reciting their lyrics. So, you know, the over time, you know, the wordplay that they using and the different styles of hip hop that I'm listening to, it gave me it gave me my pen. You know what I mean? That's where my pen came from. Is my inspirations, like the music and the artists that I was listening to coming up. That's where my pen come from. It's like a mixture of all of those artists. Right now, even nowadays, I go to different shows and shit like that, and people call me all the time. They call me the Scarface of the DMV or the Ice Cube of the DMV. You know what I mean? I've been real good for a long time. Put it like that. Is I've been real good for a long time, but over the course of my career, man, you know, I've had instances that have hindered me from moving forward, and some to some degree, you know, my fault. But you know, it is what it is, and 3030 just is a representation of longevity and power. You know, accuracy, longevity, power. That's what 3030 represents. So that's and that's self-proclaimed right there. You know, nobody didn't give me the name 3030. I took that.
Okay, and then the DMP will be
the Murderland Prince, and that's I'm a Merlin guy. Murderland is just another way that, you know, growing up, that was another way that we said Merlin. You know, so that's what that is.
That's a fact, and you are definitely I rock with you heavy because being a native PG County, you know, we love PG County. Like we love it. Like,
very much.
I mean, we just love it. We different, you know what I'm saying? We don't try to claim DC. We don't try to you know what I'm saying? We love PG County, and it's same thing with DC, same thing with VA. They love where they from, but when we come together like Voltron, we are the DMV, but we love PG County to the fullest, right?
That's home right there. That's home right there. The DMV is home. When you leave and you go like to the West Coast or down south or up north somewhere, the DMV is home. But when you home, when I'm home, Murderland is home. Oxon Hill is home. Glass Manor is home. You know, like that's home right there.
Okay. All right. So how old would you say how old was you when you started rapping? Pen to pad.
About 19 years old. I was about 19 years old when I started.
Okay.
So I wasn't like a young teenager starting, you know, but I was young enough to the point where I couldn't legally go in the liquor store and purchase the fifth I was sipping on.
Okay. So back then, who was that artist that you heard to make you want to rap? Who was that first artist?
Well, like I said, my direct inspiration to do the music was a couple of homies of mine, HA/G and Stiggity Sticks, and that's villain style right there. So, and again, I feel like it was because I knew them personally, like in real life, and they were that good. Like they were that good then, and that was like my real inspiration for actually going into the studio and doing it, because before that I didn't, you know what I mean, I had never been in no studio. I really didn't know how hard or easy it was to even go make a song, you know. That just wasn't something that I was very experienced at. But because I knew them and saw how, you know, the process they went through of making these songs, that's just like being able to see it and visualize it, it made it real for me to be able to believe that that's definitely something that I could also do. And then, you know, outside of them two in particular, mainstream wise, man, again, top five, my top inspiration for hip hop or doing music in general is always and forever gonna be Tupac. Period. Hands down. Ain't I like a lot of artists, but he gonna be at the top of all of them always, all the time.
That's a fact.
And
That's a
yeah,
fact, right?
all the time. But then
Okay.
outside, you got pop. I mean, you got Scarface, Ice,
Fact.
NWA, like those type. I feel like at a certain point in my life, I always kind of like felt like I might have been supposed to have been born on the West Coast or something, because I just like the neighborhood, Glass Man. We definitely was rocking a lot of West Coast music over there, and even down south, 8 Ball and JG, UGK, Scarface, the Ghetto Boys, like that was our thing. We definitely listened to like Biggie and all of them too, but we just wasn't as influenced by that as we was by the West and the South.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I stamped that. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? We definitely was. I mean, we respect New York and all that, but we was definitely rocking South Face, Ghetto Boys,
most definitely.
And like you said, Doggy Style, Snoop, like absolutely, right. That was crack cocaine in the hood when that dropped, right? Okay. Since you brought it up, what do you remember about the first time you was in the studio? What do you remember about that?
Oh, that's a funny story, man. So the first time I actually went into the studio, I didn't go in there to record, right? I went in there just because I knew the fellas, and they was in the studio session doing their thing. But my cousin, I got a first cousin named Ellis Merriman, and he used to sing with EU, Sugar Bear now. And he's an R&B singer too. Like as a soloist, he's an R&B singer. So he had called me on the phone one day. It was just casual conversation, and he was telling me about a project that he was working on, and he was saying that he needed a rapper on one of the songs that he was working on. And he didn't know I knew how to rap. And at the time, I had never rapped. I had never been in the studio. But I told him, "Oh no, cuz listen, put me on the drain. I'm gonna go in there and kill the drain. And he went with it. And we went to the studio. I remember he actually told me to take him to the studio that I would rather go to. And the only studio that I knew of was the one where the homies was recording at. So coincidentally, the studio was MC Sounds. The engineer's name was Mike Cross. And coincidentally, when we went to the studio, he already knew Mike Cross. But the thing was, Mike Cross didn't really know me. So now we get to the door, and I'm, the whole while we was on the way to the studio, I was telling my cousin, yeah, man, we gonna go in here. My man, he gonna, do the engineer. Again, this is like the first time I'm going in the studio to record. So I'm telling them about, the studio. We get there, and he when Mike come to answer the door, my cousin like, oh, that's Mike. I know Mike. So now at this very moment, Mike and my cousin know each other more than Mike know me. So my cousin like, yeah, man, my little cousin, man, he told me about the studio, said they be in here recording and everything. And I see Mike looking at me like, okay, I know who he talking about, because he know the group, but he don't really like, I only had been in his studio one time before that. So he like, hey, yeah, I know the fellas. I'm trying to remember him, but they be deep, so maybe I just, it's a lot of them, so maybe I have seen them before. But long story short, we went in the studio. My cousin had already laid the tracks for this song called Understand the Words Coming Out of My Mouth. He had sampled the Chris Tucker voice from the movie Rush Hour. And I put the verse on it, man, and when he gave me a copy of it. He gave me a copy of the song when I put the verse on it. And I took the song back around the way, because nobody, again, I didn't rap. And as far as me going in the studio, nobody knew me from going in the studio doing rapping or none of that. So when I took it around the way, this back when CDs was in full effect, like it wasn't no iTunes or none of that going on.
Fact.
We sitting around, how we kick it in the parking lot pimping, that's what we used to call it.
That's still called that.
Yeah, parking lot pimping, that's what we doing. And I slipped the CD in, and just let the joint play. I ain't announced it or nothing, letting nobody know that this my new joint right here. I just put it in and just let it play. And it started playing, and all the fellas like, damn, who the fuck is that right there? Oh no, this joint cranking like shit. And I'm like, yeah, oh y'all like that? Oh, all right, yeah, that's me right there. And that's where it started at right there.
Okay, so for let's say the new artists, right? New artists, right? So that point right there was that one of those fake it till you make it? Like was it like like you was already putting yourself as I can rap and you know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people be scared to do what you just did, right? So what made you do that? Like, you know, even though you never rapped and all, like, what made you even jump out there, even want to do that?
Well, I think for me in particular, I when I was young, I stayed on punishment a lot, right? So, and my punishment most of the time was like it shit was like almost like jail for real, but without the bars, you know.
Uh-huh.
And when I used to be on punishment, my peoples did remove everything from my room except for books. And
Uh-huh.
this like during the time where we had encyclopedias, like the
Uh-huh.
whole motherfucking volume of encyclopedias and
Fact.
dictionaries and shit. So my punishment usually was like, you know, memorizing all of the states and capitals of America and then all of the countries of the world and the continents and this like it just I learned a lot being on punishment. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So that right there, it I think my confidence, it wasn't so much and what I ended up doing, you just said is basically faking it till you make it, but my confidence
Uh-huh.
being as though like I learned all of this stuff, I had a means to talk about a lot of shit that a lot of people just don't have the knowledge to talk about, and that's where I think with me it was mostly confidence, and then because I'll also say that I'm pretty good lyrically,
Uh-huh.
but I also understand that I'm not the most lyrical motherfucker out here. But what I do have, I have a motherfucking delivery that's out of this world. Not too many people gonna be able to come and match my delivery, and I put my motherfucking last dime on it every
Uh-huh.
time. Put me in any room with any artist. I don't care if they national, mainstream, or whatever. Put me there, and I'ma hold my own. So I think that my confidence in my delivery and the content that I was talking about is what actually gave me the ability to go in there and do what I did. But
Okay.
I don't see nothing. If you got a gift, you gotta finesse it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta finesse it, and everybody's not gonna always want to give you a chance or give
Uh-huh.
you an opportunity. So sometimes you gotta get in. You gotta get in first, so that you know you gotta start the game so you can play it.
That's a
You
fact.
know, and sometimes the gatekeepers or the powers that be ain't really in a rush to let you get in because it might be the shit might be already overcrowded or whatever the case may be.
Uh-huh.
So you got to find the entry, and once you get that entry, you got to make it count, and that's what I did.
Okay. Okay. So for the new artist, pretty much the secret sauce will be uh being prepared. Always being prepared. So when it is your time, you can you like once the spotlight is on, it's like you didn't miss a beat. Like you know what I'm saying? You was prepared, like you already studied the states, the you know what I'm saying? Like you already was like, I bet I'm good verbally. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I know the words and everything. So whenever I get that chance, I'm prepared. So being
Definitely.
prepared is a secret sauce.
Definitely. So and let me also add
Yes, sir.
the game net to today. The game is not the same as it was when when I had my turn coming in as a teenager. It's a lot different nowadays. I think, in my personal opinion, I know everybody won't agree with this, and it's probably like a generational thing. You know, maybe it's even a fucking bias. I don't know, but just in my personal opinion today you really don't have to have as much talent as you do influence, popularity. I
Mhm.
think talent and popularity carry you, I mean popularity and influence carry you a lot farther than talent nowadays. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
I
And
agree.
that's is a lot of reasons for that, but that's just basically my main consensus right there, man. Influence and popularity in today's game is going to carry you a lot farther than the actual talent will. Unfortunately, to say the least.
And you know what? And I agree, but that the small print is until you get next to a person with talent.
Oh yeah, well, and that right there definitely happens. What happen and what do you do when that happens? I think a lot of people try not to get themselves in that predicament, especially if you out here on the popularity influence more than the talent. You really don't want to find yourself in the booth with somebody that's gonna come in there and light shit up verbally and
Fact.
vocally. Like you don't want to do that because it's gonna expose you. So it's just like anything else. You got some boxers out here that look pretty good until they got to get in the ring with a motherfucker that is pretty good. You know what I mean? They ducking those fights though. That's the game right there. So you got to do what works for you always, and I think people do a pretty good job of that. Everybody, no matter what, you can lie to everybody in the whole world, but you can't lie to yourself.
That's a fact.
So I think a lot of people understand what they talent is, and they try to remain in parameters where they're gonna be able to shine, where they're gonna be able to look good. Because it just wouldn't make no sense to go into somewhere where you're gonna look bad, especially if you know you're gonna look bad prior to going there. It just wouldn't make sense.
And it's a lose-lose because if you go, you're gonna lose, but if you back out, it's a lose-lose for you. Like it's a lose-lose, right?
It don't make sense. Like, so you got to play the game. Like, again, we all play the game differently. Some of us play it better than others. I really think that the artist that's out here with the popularity and the influence, I really play the game very much. It's not that they have just like this popularity and influence. They also, a lot of them have a heavy grind. A heavy grind will be talent. It ain't really that good, but they grind. You know what I mean? Those individuals right there is gonna outshine the talents every time. They're gonna outshine you because they work ethic is that much stronger than yours.
And that's a fact. That's a fact, right? And that's some tangibles that new artists should pick up is you might not be the dopest, you might not be rap the best, but you can always outwork the next person. Be consistent and outwork the next person.
Yeah,
and
that's
okay. So all right. Yeah, it sound like you in like a little choppy area. So okay, so as you get yeah. So there you go. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So let's say DMV artists like yourself, like a Killer Cal, Uptown XO, and all these people, like how, because you guys was killing in the CD era, like, you know what I'm saying, like you was killing then. So how do you adapt now to the digital era, like, you know what I'm saying, like how do you get motion now in this era?
For a long time, it took me personally, it took me a while to like get from that physical CD copy area all the way to the digital thing, because when it's just like anything else, when you been working with something for so long, that's just like where your comfort zone is right there, everything. I was there for I was for cassette. That just created a digital era, and for people like myself, it was a learning process. It's all over again.
You definitely in a bad area. You definitely choppy. Yeah.
How sound right now? Can you hear me a little better now?
You sound like a robot. Yeah. So yeah, what was you saying? Because we missed all that.
You said not 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 back in it. Definitely back. You definitely back in that, like wherever you at right now. It's definitely, they ain't showing you no love on the signal. So okay, so what we'll do is we'll wait till you get out that little area. So and you know, and that's the thing about being being from this area, right? Being from this area, uh all of our legends, right, come from the tape CD era, hand to hand, DVD, right?
Okay,
This
bad as hell.
this there you go, there you go. This digital
Yeah,
era. There you go, there you go, there you
I
go.
think I gotta just wait for them to put me back in the
Now you good, you good, you in. I see you.
That's why I'm trying to get out from back here, because that's what it is. It's just the area that I'm in. Yo, how it sound? Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
You
think
sound,
I'm coming out of that area I was in.
yeah, you sound perfect now. You sound perfect.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. So, as far as the adaptation to the digital era, like I was saying, it was more a comfort zone for me to do the CDs and the flyers, like actually going out. We used to be at the clubs late at night after the
Mm-hmm.
clubs let out, and we putting flyers on cars and everything. Like, I come from that era.
Mm-hmm.
So now when the real like digital era came, I think the first part of it was like the whole MySpace era where
Mm-hmm.
you copying and pasting codes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know how to do that shit, so
Mm-hmm.
it was that learning curve right there, kind of like that's it give off, for me anyway, it gave off like a sense of uncomfortability. I know I gotta learn it, but I just don't know it the way I would like to know it right at the moment, and I just felt like it was hindering me. So I held on to the hard copy CD and the flyers for as long as I can, but then it definitely got to a point where that shit was just it just was outdated, man, and they wasn't doing it like that no more. And then, but once I did finally start working and using the digital part of it, the leg work, it's a lot less leg work in it. Let me put it like that. With
Mm-hmm.
the digital era, it's a lot less leg work to put into it. You don't really gotta. That's the thing. Like, you don't really gotta be out in the streets
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. You can do everything that if creativity. Let me say that if you are creative enough, you can do just about anything, man.
It's a fact.
Creativity in a person is like, if you really good at that, if that's one of your strong points, man, you got success right at your fingertips, man. And all you really need to do at that point is just put the time in, and it's gonna happen for you, I'm sure.
And that's a fact, right? I would say this. I've told a lot of people this, right? I've told from DC Scorpio, Eddie Black, Question Mark Asylum, Tony Blunt, and all these people. Like, this digital era, like, 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 like real shit, real shit. Like, you guys don't even have to do music nowadays, right? You guys can do things
No,
like
yeah,
this. Just talk. Just talk,
yep,
right? Like, your brand is so solidified that all you have to do is talk, and what people gonna do is they're gonna research. Like, who is this person? Like, boom, and then they're gonna go back to your music and all your back cat. Just talk. That's it. Just be out there
yep,
and be visible. That's it. That's it.
yeah, that's it, for real. And that's
And
the
you
truth
guys
of the
got the
matter right
history. And you guys got the history. You guys got the name. You got the culture. You know what I'm saying? You got the catalog, and you got everything in the chamber. You got everything. You just waiting for that right time for people to check you out. That's it. That's all you waiting for.
there. Yeah.
That's it.
Again, though, like with in particular, like with the digital age, I think even when it comes to, like, what we doing right now, your delivery, Like it don't delivery don't have to just be on a song. Like the way you talk to people, the way you engage with people. That's all in your delivery right there. You gotta know how to deliver the shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then you gotta know the differences in ways of delivering shit. You know, like words. People don't understand the power of words and the way that you can use words that we use so frequently every day. Like something simple as um somebody might just and this just an example. If somebody like, oh man, fuck you. Or you could say it, man, fuck you. Like this the same group of words you just used right there, but your delivery was different, depending on what the intention is, the delivery was different right there. So I
Mhm.
just think like again, it go back to what I was saying about, being popular and being a good influencer. If your delivery is right, man, yeah, you can do a lot with that delivery. That delivery is important.
That's a fact. That's a fact, right? So, okay. So, uh, how how important to you is networking? How important is that to you?
Networking is definitely important too because you can't, unfortunately, you can't do everything by yourself. It would be great, and some people try as they
We've
may. It's
tried it in
just
the beginning. We've tried it. We all tried it. Yes.
yeah, but it's just not how it's not, and I won't say that it's impossible, but as not impossible as it is, it's just not highly likely either. You
It's
know what I
time
mean?
consuming.
And
Yes.
very, very time consuming, and it just complicates it a lot more than it necessarily needs to be. So networking is a way of, being able to be different places without actually, for me, and a certain aspect of it is meeting people that can, it's like a you help me, I help you situation. You know what I'm saying? That networking goes a long way because depending on who you're talking to, I always when I meet people and I greet people, I always try to figure out what it is that I can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
I approach the situation like that. What is it that I can do for this individual? You know, what they can do for me, we're gonna talk about that. But in
Mm-hmm.
order for depending on who you're talking to, in order for you to even get into that type of conversation, it's gonna have to be a what can you do for me type thing.
You got to
You
add
know,
value first. Absolutely.
you gotta do that. So in networking, I think networking outside of having the talent, actual talent, networking is definitely right up there in the top of the list of things that you're gonna need to be able to do in order to be successful. And it's not even just with music; it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much with everything. You need
Mm-hmm.
networking. You could be a realtor. You're gonna need the network so that
Mm-hmm.
you can have a market to advertise your services to.
That's
Like
it.
networking is important in all aspects of commerce and services that you provide to people. You're gonna need that networking.
And that's a fact because rapping is just one bullet in a chamber, right?
Yeah.
But the emphasis really is the brand. The brand is really what you got to network. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows? You might be in a movie. You wasn't planning on being in a movie. You wasn't planning on being on a commercial. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see, you so focused on rapping that everything else we didn't even think about that until it's an option, right? So putting your brand out there is absolutely probably the most important thing because you can go in so many different directions.
Well,
So
even more so nowadays, because you don't like because of the streaming and everything. Artists they just I know mainstream artists that stopped doing music because of the streaming thing, and it really is a ripoff. They not paying the artists what they really should be getting paid. I understand that, but that is a platform so that you can brand yourself so that your brand can grow. And then I think more so nowadays is merchandising, and like you said, it's all of the other stuff that you can get into just because you knew how to do music. And from doing music, it's because of that networking that now you on this commercial or you in this movie, or it's the networking part of it gets you all of that right there.
and that's a fact, right? Because people my age and older,
like we had to relearn a lot of things, right? And
Yeah.
and the reason we had to relearn a lot of things is because we come from the go-go era. We come from the icebox, the metro. Like we come from eras that is either me or my crew. Like it's not like we wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like we wasn't really worried about what the next person was doing because either I can do it or somebody from around my way can do it. And that's how we was rocking. That's how we was rocking, right? Until now it went into like open mics, right? Open mics for artists, people was looking at it wrong because a lot of people wanted to get on early and roll, the rap and roll, right? But the secret sauce is you stay to the end, you stay up front, and then you exchange information with all the artists that perform. Like that's really because you never know which one's gonna get on. So, but whichever one get on and you real cool with them, they'll put you in a feature. Like you never know. Like you know what I'm saying? So interacting with other artists is the secret sauce. Is the secret sauce. So we had to relearn that because we were so for self from the go-go era. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we was. Right? So, okay.
Well, and so to that credit right there, I, as an individual, like, 30-30, even go dating back to, I don't know if you remember the U-turn, Dre All Day, and everything like that.
Absolutely. One of my OGs.
You see, and I was there, I was there for those times right there. But I was always one of those artists, I don't care. I would always get there early enough to catch most of the artists that was performing at the venue that night. But even after I performed, I never rode. Like, I promise you, 90% of the time I was still there when the last motherfucker was coming on stage, and it probably was only me and 4 or 5 other motherfuckers left in there. But I always just felt like, man, show that male or female, show them that love, man, because they came in this motherfucker and they might have been in there for a long ass time too. And
they paid.
And all of that, like, so I just always wanted to be one of those. I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying? And I love showing that respect and that love, but I also love the reciprocation. And I think a lot of it comes from that old motto, man, treat people how you want to be treated. So, that's where I think I got that ethic from right there, just staying, man, and seeing. You never know, the motherfucker that performed last when it was only 3 people left in there might be cranking like a motherfucker, and nobody never got to see that because they was gone by the time they got an opportunity to get on stage.
So when did you relearn that? So because coming from the trenches in PG County, like we didn't think like that at first. Growing up, we didn't think like that. Like we had to get into that, like, you know what I'm saying, because we was all for self, you know what I'm saying. So when did you start, like a Tupac, when did you start thinking like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's bigger than just me, it's others. Like when did you start thinking like that?
When I started to try to understand the business more, it just seemed like to me, if you show that love, you're gonna get that
That's
love. And it don't always work out like that. You could show as much love as you want sometimes, and you might not get the love back that you think.
You're definitely in a bad area again. But yes, I totally agree. Everyone is not going to be a home run. Every connection is not going to be a home run. It's just not. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is, you are trying to get in front of enough people where you can sort out the good ones with the bad ones. And the good ones you keep close, and the bad ones you get rid of. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it works, right? You always get rid of dead weight, because see, that's another thing about us, being from the area and being an artist, is we always like to keep dead weight around us. You know what I'm saying? And that to be totally honest, that slows us down so much, because we can't save everybody. You can't save everybody, right? So you have to eliminate dead weight when you face it. Like, you just have to. Like, you gotta really keep the strong ones around you and eliminate dead weight. For the longest, you know what I'm saying? We all know we got buddies and all that who always fight. No matter where you go, you always fight, right? And that was cool when you was younger, right? But once you get older and you got good clothes on, expensive clothes on, like you ain't trying to fight all the time. So you know to see that person less and less. You know what I'm saying? And when I say eliminate dead weight, it doesn't mean necessarily getting rid of that person. Eliminating dead weight means just putting a distance on, like, you know, like when you see them, because their energy is different. Like you got to be like, your energy got to be different when you're around dead weight. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want some positive shit, you can't be around dead weight. You want some other shit.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you hear me?
I'm sorry about that.
Are you good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I'm talking about now. The reason that held us up for so long is because we are so loyal to the people around us, right? And one thing that getting older teaches you is keep the strong around you and eliminate dead weight. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it is what it is. It sounds harsh, but we all have that buddy who love to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I had mentioned, like we all got that buddy. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, when you got your expensive clothes on and you got your chick with you, you ain't trying to fight. Like that's not the vibe like you on. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not trying to go to the lounge and fight. That's not what you're trying to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a different arena. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta that.
That's one of the things, like when I think back through all of the time that I've done music and all of the experiences that I've had, I think that the negative parts, like the fighting and stuff like that, that hindered me a lot right there. You know, that's probably the one thing that hindered me the most right there, outside of everything, because the talent, the everything else, I've had it. You know, it's just that when you get to a certain point in your career where you meeting the right people, and you know they start to do like that background check, and it's like, damn, well, every time this dude is out some motherfucking where they always into it, was like, I'll be more specific. If I could, in my career, if I could take anything back in my career that I wish would have never happened, it would be the DMV Music Awards. That right there, I wish I wish all the time that I could take that night back and make and just, I don't know what I could have done to have it happen differently, but I just know that if that night right there wouldn't have happened, my career would have definitely took a much more positive turn.
Are you talking about the one with Dre All Day in the Paint?
Yeah.
And you know what? And I had him on, right? And okay, all right. So let's address that. Let's address that. So like, it was a good look. The idea, the concept, it was a great look. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us was still on that go-go mindset that it was just us and fuck everybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but what did you see? Like, what happened? Like, what was the issue?
So that wasn't the first DMV Music Awards. I had been to two DMV Music Awards that Dre had took part in before that. They was in Maryland, Capitol Heights, Maryland, as a matter of fact. And then the one that he had out in Crystal City, that when I went there, because leading up to it, Dre had the tables, and you get every table you get a hotel room. So it was like I was amped the fuck up. I bought 10 motherfucking tables. So I had 100 motherfuckers in the building with me that night and 10 hotel rooms upstairs that night. And I'm just like, the atmosphere, it was like an upgrade. Everything was an upgrade. That's how it was supposed to look. And I was super proud of Dre and everybody else that took part in putting that together right there. Because that was like you said, that was a good look for the DMV music scene right there. Facts. Great look. I applauded all of it. I really did. I think what happened in that night right there, it was a lot of ego shit going on in there. And it wasn't necessarily me with the ego. Again, I'm probably one of the most humblest people that I know. I'm very extremely humble. I I lack in being able to take accountability for everybody though. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know how to do that right there. You know, and like you were saying earlier, sometimes the crowd you keep around you can you know, they can upset, they can rock the boat a little too motherfucking much, like, you know what I mean? And that was, and it wasn't just like it was a me thing. And so what ended up happening was uh and by all means, let me lead with, nowadays, you know, I don't got no problem with Trail and, you know, his squad. You know, that happened over a decade ago. So, you know, this is like, you know, ancient history for real.
Right.
But it happened. So I feel comfortable speaking on it. What happened? Dre had asked me once I got the 10 tables for the music awards. Dre, because he know us, you know, and he know what we capable of, like in you know, just in life outside of the music. He very well aware of our you know, our neighborhood. Well, you know, he aware of the people that I'm with. So when I had got the 10 tables, I remember when I came to get the last one, Dre almost didn't even sell me the fucking table because he was like, man, 30, what the fuck you doing? What y'all in here? What y'all trying to do? I'm like, shit, I'm trying to get some tables. All my people's trying to come. Like, shit, we get in hotel rooms. I'm trying to have a good time. And that's what I really was trying to do. Just have a good time. I was nominated for Best Hip Hop Artist in Maryland and Best Music Video from a hip hop artist in Maryland. And once we got to the hotel, you know, everybody doing the interviews, and it's just live, like the whole hotel, like from top to bottom, front to back. It's just like this atmosphere is exactly what it's supposed to be right here. That shit was like that. So we get once the award show start, everything's going good. I think in hindsight, I think Dre had too many intermissions that night. I think that if it wouldn't have been for the intermissions, it probably would have happened a little bit differently. But nonetheless, that's still no excuse for what happened. I think it was an altercation. I think his mom was there. And she was having a good time, you know, everybody dancing, having a good time. And I think it was an altercation with one of the fellas that was in my camp and Fat Trail's camp. So me and the producer, man, we noticed the altercation, and we went over there to where the center of it was at, and we in the middle of this whole thing, like, nah, young, chill. And before the DMV Music Awards, like, I can't, like, we was cool, like the Slutty Boys and Villain Style Gangster Chronicles, like, we had a really good relationship. You know what I'm saying? So when we went to the center of this issue, and I'm like, young, get your folks, man, chill. We could figure this shit out, but this ain't the way right here. Especially like this, the DMV. Like, come on, man, let's chill this shit out. And in the process of me and my producer trying to calm this shit down, I can't really say who it was in particular, but it was somebody from that side, that camp. I just seen a bottle, a liquor bottle, come over the top of their crowd, and it cracked my producer right in the middle of his face, busted shit wide open. And no matter how much I want to defuse the situation, when something like that happens, it's out of my hands right there.
Right.
Out of my fucking hands. Again, 110 people came with me that night. It's no fucking way I can stop that right there. It's nothing I can do about that. So that's pretty much basically how that happened. I think a lot of people watch the shit on the news or the YouTube, and they kind of like formulated their own opinion about how it happened or what happened. To know the real fucking story, it didn't happen how a lot of people thought it happened. I think a lot of people thought that my squad or my camp was upset because I didn't win an award. But it's like I was telling Dre, because you know Dre is filming a documentary itself,
Yeah.
and me
Yes.
and Dre had a real long debate about that whole night. And it's like Dre even thought the same thing. Like he thought all of this shit happened because I didn't win an award. And I had to tell Dre, I had plenty of respect for the DMV Music Awards, but at the end of the day, Dre, whether I got a motherfucking award or not, I got 10 hotel rooms upstairs. We got plenty of money. We had it. In my mind, I'm thinking after the awards, we going upstairs and we about to really, that was for real. The after the awards was about to be the real party for me. So it wasn't about me not getting the award. It was just a lot of drinking and it was a lot of ego shit going on. And again, once that one situation.
Okay, so that's okay. That's dope. Hot off the press. I'm glad that he really got to say his side, you know, because it's been a lot of talks, but you know, like nowhere near the truth. Nowhere near the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that he really was able and comfortable to explain his side, you know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, like that was a great look. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a great look for DMV artists. And because of what happened, that put a stigma on DMV hip hop artists. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now, because of that situation, when people think of DMV hip hop, DMV artists, they think, oh yeah, they can't get along. They, you know what I'm saying? Like that's when we was young. Like I said, when we was young and we was on that go-go shit, that, you know what I'm saying, we was on repping our block, repping our hood. It was just that's what we was on. It was us against everybody, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you do hip hop, when you do rap, right? You might start off like that, but you need a team. You need you need people on your team that don't look like you, that don't talk like you, that don't think like you, that don't even rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might need people who don't even like rap. They just know about promotion. They know about marketing. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need different types of people on your team because the direction you can go with different types of people on your team, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, right? Opposed to if you have the same people, you know what I'm saying? If you got the same people on your team, they're thinking the same way, they're doing the same thing, they all want to be rappers, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's not healthy for growth. That's not healthy for growth, right? So I'm definitely glad. Hopefully he comes back on because I'm definitely glad he got to say his piece, you know, because it's like a folk tale, right? It's like a folk tale. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have rumors, a lot of people talk a lot of shit, but none of it be the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate, you know, he definitely coming
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yes, sir. I
can't hear you.
You don't hear me?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Your sound went out for some reason. I don't know what the hell happened.
Check, see if you got it muted or anything. Cause I don't see you, but I hear you. So, yeah, dope.
Yeah, I don't know.
Try, see if you can go out and come back in and see what happens. So, even when I had Dre all day, when I interviewed Dre all day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell. I see you now. So yeah, you muted. See if you can unmute it. You see next to your name, you got the mic muted. So yeah, give me a. Let me see. Give me a second. Okay. So yeah. So even when I had Dre all day in the paint, right? I can tell that this was a subject it hurt him. It definitely hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely hurt him. I know he had everything riding on this. Everything riding on this. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't turn out the way he wanted it to turn out. It's always a miscommunication. Always a miscommunication. Something that you might think happened, but when you come down to the bottom of it, it's nowhere near what you thought happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it always comes down to a miscommunication, right? So let me see if I can get him back on so we can wrap the rest of this interview up. We got at least 25 minutes left. So I'm gonna see if I can get him back on so we can finish this. So so we have 30-30 DMP. There you go. You hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
You was muted.
Just while you was.
Yeah. You was muted when I like next to your name. You was muted. Like for some reason, all you had to do really is unmute it. Oh, but you good now. You hear me? So we're gonna figure this out. So yeah. So and this is where it comes down to the DMV talk and all this DC or nothing. Like it's a team. Like we are teammates. You ain't gotta love your teammates. You ain't gotta like your teammates, right? Like but you do have to trust your teammates. Like you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta like me, but as long as I'm producing, as long as I'm consistent, you know what I'm saying? You can trust me to be consistent. You can trust me to work. You know what I'm saying? Like you can trust that. You know what I'm saying? So just like your family, just like your siblings, you might not like them all. You know what I'm saying? But you respect them to do what they do.
Definitely.
So you back. So let me say this. First of all, I appreciate you for even coming on my show and even talking about that, because that subject is like a folktale, right? A lot of people talk about it, think they know. A lot of people talk shit. A lot of people talk this. A lot of people talk that, but none of it be the truth or even close to the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, man. I done heard so many stories about that night, like over the years, and I just be like, damn, man. Just to hear what some people really believe happened that night, like, man, that's a lot of it couldn't be further from the truth about what actually happened,
bro. And that is probably the best marketing tool that you have right now, is you can speak on that. Like you can have your own documentary. You can have your own joint speaking about what really happened. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you'll have the hip hop community, the go-go community, everybody focused to hear what you got to say.
You know, the crazy part about it, like even like the day after that, because I never left the hotel that night. I had 10 hotel rooms upstairs, so I stayed at the hotel that night. And when I woke up the next morning, I turned on the TV, you know, because I'm still still foggy and everything. I turned on the TV and this shit was all over the news. And I'm
serious.
Like,
this is serious.
Yeah. And then I'm hearing all of the shit that happened. Hotel employee lost their eye, like all this damage, and I'm like, man, this shit should not have went like that. And so the DMV Awards was bad, but I think the part that really hindered me or hurt me the most is Easy Street from the radio. he was having he had a town hall meeting about what happened at the DMV Awards. This was like after the DMV Awards, but he had a town hall meeting, and I didn't go. I didn't go at the advice of, you know, some of the older homies, and you know, I didn't go because we had our reasons for me not going.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned over time, it's just like court. If you don't show up to court, the other parties, their story going and they went.
That's a fact.
You know, so when you don't show up, everybody's side of the story get told except for yours.
That's a fact.
And after the DMV Awards, and I found out about this later on down the line, but me, Gangster Chronicles, everybody that was affiliated with Gangster Chronicles, we kind of basically got blackballed in the DMV because of what happened at the DMV Music Awards. And that's why I said, man, out of everything that I've experienced during my time in music, if I could take back one thing, it would be that right there.
You live and you learn, right? And because of that one thing that happened, it put a stigma on all DMV hip hop artists after that, right?
Yeah.
You can't book them because, you know what I'm saying, this and that's just a whole stigma that came with that, you know what I'm saying? So okay, so from then to now, how are you moving differently? Like how are you correcting the situation? Because we was young, we was on some nigga shit back then, right?
Definitely.
You grown. So how are you moving today?
Well, so now, I mean, we much more mature. Myself, I can definitely say I'm much more mature, and I'm fortunate because I learned that sometimes it takes time to grow into these spaces, man.
Fact.
Some people end up going to prison. Some people end up dying before they ever get a chance to grow, like mentally, and they can learn from those experiences that they might have had in the past. But I was fortunate enough to be able to grow, and over time I learned that, you know, I can't just be there with the crowd. I got to be able to lead my crowd. And if I can't lead my crowd, that's not my crowd.
That's a fact.
You know, sometimes that's the difference in it. I think we got so much loyalty to our neighborhoods, to our homies, and we got so much loyalty that we don't really speak up as strongly as we should speak up because of that loyalty or because of the way we was raised. And I had to grow out of that. And I did. I've done a remarkable job of growing out of that. And that's why I'm able to sit here today and be able to speak on these situations, man. Shout out to the homie Trail, man. You know, I can even say that, you know, even the day after the DMV Music Awards, you know, not long after that, he had got signed with Ross, MMG. And I just remember that, you know, even in spite of what happened at the DMV Music Awards, we was still rooting for Holmes. Like, we was definitely rooting for Holmes to win. Even right now, today, you know, still rooting for him. You know, I just like everybody else in the DMV, we see like the trials and tribulations that Holmes go through, but nonetheless, definitely still rooting for the home team, you know. And at the end of the day, for me right now, today, that's what it's about, the home team. The more successes that we have, the easier it will become for the rest of us to actually get in that door and be able to be successful on that level, you know. So it's the pettiness is, I'm not the same as I was that night at the DMV Music Awards.
And you know, it would be crazy, and this would be another monumental situation if you was to do a song with him. You do a song with him, that'd be huge. That'd be serious.
Well, that's something that I'm not even gonna say that's something that I've contemplated. That's something that I've actively seeked out trying to do. It hasn't been the easiest situation because again, Trail done had a lot of situations itself that have, you know, hindered him.
Yes, and he's actually going through it right now as well, right? Yes.
Yeah,
But
so you know, and then I haven't spoken to him like personally, so I don't know what his mind state is on, 30-30 or, the whole thing. But I have, definitely when it comes to certain circles and shit, if I always try to put the word in there, man, to whoever around homes, let them know. If it's gonna be possible for us to put something down in the studio, because I think that would be big too. I think that would be huge right there.
or
And I
even if
would,
you know what, and even if you don't do music, just sit down and talk. That's it. Sit
I
down and
would,
talk.
I would definitely be interested in that. Again, I got a lot of love for Holmes. We had a difference of opinion, and things happen. But again, that happens over a decade ago.
Bruh, I don't think you really understand what position you in right now. Like you can actually jumpstart DMV hip hop by doing a sitting down and talking the trail, and you know what I'm saying, and just talking. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because like back in Go, everything, those fights, everything happens off miscommunication. Like whatever you think happened, that's not really what happened. It could be a bump, it could be somebody stumbled, whatever it is, but you can always talk things out. You know what I'm saying? Then when you get older, you look back, you be like, man, I was dumb as shit. That was my fault. What the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really that serious. You know what I'm saying? So you guys can get together, do some type of on camera, on live, or whatever it is, and talk about that situation. My dude, that right there will be serious for DMV hip hop.
I would love to do it. That's definitely something that I would love to do right there. And I think it's possible. I know it's possible. I don't even want to say I think it's possible. I know that it's possible. Just something that we got to put in the works, something that we got to set up.
Dope. That's dope. Okay, all right. So let's talk about Run Amok. Let's talk about Run Amok, right? Okay.
Run Amok.
Okay. The new single you got, bruh. Okay. All right. I got a lot of questions about this. You know what I'm saying? We got about like 15 minutes, so we're gonna end this just talking about Run Amok, right? I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I really
so, Run Amok. Run Amok. Let me start right here. My partner, Kane is able. He called me one day and he was, he put this idea in my head about, kind of like the X-Men. So Run Amok is a project that's created by a group called the Mids. The Mids is sort of like the X-Men. That's the analogy that we give. The Mids is like the X-Men, and it's a lot of different artists that's, individual artists that we just like kind of grouped up with. Everybody's still like their own person and their own artist, but we collab on just about everything.
Like Wu-Tang.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
like a Wu-Tang.
Okay.
We like a DMV Wu-Tang. That's a perfect way to describe it right there. And Run Amok is just, man, that Kane, he got this thing with making chant music, you know what I'm saying? And Run Amok was one of those ideas Run Amok is that right now is our biggest thing that we got going on right now. We just released the music video for Run Amok. We're gonna be in New York on the 25th, performing up there. Run Amok. I'm looking for Run Amok to be our straight out of Compton. That's what we looking for Run Amok to be. So definitely be looking to hear more and see more dealing with Run Amok in the Mids, in the near future too. Definitely.
So okay, so the Mids, like who does that consist of? Because y'all deep, like who is the Mids, and like how did y'all link up?
So the Mids, just to name off a few, because like you said, it's quite a few of us, man. But we got the Cruddy Crankers, we got Tokyo Crow, we got Crank Luke.
You mean Moet and Ty?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Hold on. That's my peoples right there. Hold on. Wait. Okay.
Yeah. The Crankers.
Okay.
The Crankers is definitely a part of the Mids, man. They a big part of the Mids, because the Crankers is they legendary in the DMV, man. They done put in a monumental amount of work for the music scene and just in general, you know, they've given a lot of opportunities. Just like creating the platforms that they've had, people get a lot of opportunities just knowing the Crankers or being affiliated with the Crankers. Yeah, they definitely a big part of the Miz though, most definitely.
So how did so all right, so how did y'all do this with the Miz? Like how do you add like how are you creating this?
So I don't know if you ever seen the X-Men movie where Professor X and Magneto was going around to all these different places trying to recruit the X-Men. That's what me and Kane are. Me and Kane like Professor X and Magneto. And we know all of these people in the DMV that do the same thing we do. All of them aren't even rappers or singers. We try to recruit like just about everybody. If you into comedy, if you a DJ, if you a videographer, a photographer, a dancer, whatever we can, you know, wherever we can recruit, that's what we trying to do, because the more you can do in-house, the less financially it's going. It make it just a lot easier and more convenient to be able to just get up and do some shit where you don't got to call a motherfucker that's, you know, might be with this company or that company. We got a lot of stuff that we do is already in-house. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think that's what our motivation and our intention was when it came to putting the Miz together. It's just all of the people that we know that do music, go and present this idea to these people and let them know that what it is we trying to do, and you know, just see how many people we can get on board with it. And we was fortunate enough to be able to get some real good folks on board with the Miz. And yeah, now we rocking and we in full swing, and we got a lot of stuff going on with the Miz. People should definitely be prepared to hear a lot coming from the Miz in the near future, for sure.
Okay, all right. So the song itself, right? Okay. So creating that. Now let's go back to the creation part. Like like when you got it, like was it already like a few verses already on it, and then you added yours, or like when you got it, like how did that form?
I was there from the ground up. You know, the beat, of course. Like once we got a whole Miz project called Nation of Gods, and that'll be out soon. But as we were going over what we think we might want to have on the Nation of Gods project, you know, it's just certain. We want to make sure we had this type of song. We want to make sure we had this type, and it's just going through all of the different types of songs that we would like to have on the project. And when we heard that beat for Run Up, that was like, damn, this joint right here it just sound magical right there. And as long as you put the right lyrics to it, this motherfucker is going to jump. And again, Kane, I'm my delivery, I do what I do, but when the concept for Run Amok, the hook and the way that the hook is laid, that's all Kane right there. You know,
let's get right there. So the concept, so was the hook first?
Yeah, we did create the hook first.
Okay. So
everything got built from the hook.
Okay. So all right. So the hook has that Little John Crump type, like where did that come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that a sample? Or is that actually you guys doing that don't sound so much like I'm impressed.
Well, they don't have that. They don't. I don't want to say they don't have it. Maybe it's just I haven't heard it. But like that's when we perform that like out live. That the response we usually get from that is, damn man, y'all just took me back to a time when that, you know, that's what we created right there. And I feel like that type of nostalgia right there is for Run 'em Up, and it's not just Run 'em Up. We got, if you like Run 'em Up, you're gonna listen to Nation of Gods project. Like we got a lot of those type of songs on there. We got other stuff too, but we do have that. One of the elements that we gonna definitely bring back with this Nation of Gods project is storytelling. We definitely gonna bring back the art of lyricism. Like, you know, we see like what everybody doing right now. You know, there's definitely a prototype to the hip hop industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, the younger generation, that's their thing. That's what they doing. I try not to. Now, earlier on when it was first getting popular, I think I kind of had a hard time accepting it because it just wasn't my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But every generation that went
That was
through it.
us.
When I was younger, listening to NWA and Eazy-E, my parents that wasn't music to them. Like, they was like, "What the fuck is you listening to?" Oh, nah, that ain't no music. So, you know, every generation experiences it, and I had to get that shit out my head that, you know, this is just the way that they express, the younger generation express themselves, you know, and I'm not one that's gonna hate on like how they doing it. They doing it how they do it.
Right.
This they time to shine right here. In hip hop, I think that a lot of people look at it sometimes with like, oh, you know, you can't be a certain age and still rapping. Yeah, bullshit.
That's
You
fact.
know, your crowd, your audience may change. But as long as you got the talent, man, I don't. What the fuck? You ain't nobody never told Stevie Wonder he can't do music no more.
Fact.
Or, you know, as long as you got a talent, man, use that shit because it's always gonna be an audience for it. No matter what it is, it's gonna be an audience for it.
That's a fact. And
You know
like
what I
you
mean?
said, when you get older, it is you want to transition into telling your story. Like, you ain't got to be rapping when you fit, bro. Telling your story will be, I'm telling you, will be so huge for us getting older. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much game, wisdom, experience that come with that. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, all right, we got like a few minutes left. So, first of all, who produced the beat? Who made the beat?
So we, you know, we don't, the producer for that beat, we went on this, we work off of like this website,
Okay.
where a lot of producers just like put their beats on there and they sell them. We not like we don't go on YouTube and get a beat off of there and go and loop it or nothing like that. We go through the process because we got a company, Dream Society Network and Entertainment.
Mhm.
So we got a legitimate company, you know. We LLC'd and everything. We licensed and trademarked and patented everything. So you know, me and Kane, we try to make sure that we do everything like good business. We try to make sure that we do good business because you never know like what might jump, what might hit. Like, and we want to make sure that all of our bases is covered just in case that shit happens, so nobody can't come and take nothing away from us. So we did it the right way. With the beat, that came from a producer that we've never worked with before.
Wow.
We went on this website and we was going through, it's millions of beats on this website and they all like different producers. And you hear something you like, you reach out to the producer, say, hey, how much you gonna charge us to lease this or own this or whatever you trying to do with the beat, and it go from there. But the Run Amok beat didn't come from a producer that we've ever worked with before. That was, as a matter of fact, that was the first time we ever worked with that producer.
Dope.
So I guess that's just one of those. We got lucky with that one right there.
But y'all was prepared. Y'all also was
Very,
prepared.
very
Right?
prepared. Well, that's a large part of success is being prepared.
That's a fact, right? So, one more thing. Well, actually, two more things. The video. Like, what was the concept? Like, how did you structure the video part with the clowns and you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you guys structure that? Like, was that?
So again, our videographer, which is Kane. Kane, he do the videos, the music, the movies and everything like that. So the treatment for the Run Amok, that's Kane. Listen, Kane is a very, very smart motherfucker, man. And that's the reason why when he called me on the phone, he said, 30, I got an idea, but we need to do this shit together. Because I knew Kane for so long, I just know he about his business.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because I know that about him, it didn't really take much. He didn't really have to convince me too much more than to just say, hey, this my idea. You with it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm with it. And ever since then, we just been rocking with it. But Kane is a large part. Kane actually does the visual side of everything we do. I'm more so the music side of it.
Okay.
So when it comes to the music videos, we do movies and all of that shit. But when it comes to that type of stuff, Kane, that's just his thing right there. He also raps too, though, you know. So when we get in the studio, you know, of course, like as an artist, you're gonna have ideas on different shit. Musically, that's like my total thing right there. So we try to keep it so that we don't overwork ourselves individually. We, you know, Kane do the music. I mean, Kane do the movies and the videos. I do the music.
Okay, appreciate, man. First and foremost, man, I really appreciate you entertaining what I got going on, man. Anytime you want to promote anything you got going on, let me know. I'll bring you back on. You know, I really enjoyed this. You know, we definitely going to link up. You know, stay connected. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I really rock. So, but we're gonna wrap this up, but I appreciate you. Thanks again. Salute to everything you got going on, my guy.
Hey man, I want to say, man, I appreciate you for reaching out to me and getting me on the platform, man. This is I always find ways to, like, you know, get my story out through, you know, you are this right here benefited me tonight in a great way, you know, more ways than probably anybody ever know. So I always appreciate when people can put me on a platform where I can tell that story. Because again, some of this shit maybe everybody didn't know before I said it.
That's a fact. Right. In closing, salute to Rip Radio, the Good Trump. I'm definitely gonna give you my number so we can chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I rock with what you got going on in the family. So you definitely got a supporter out of me, my guy. Appreciate you.
Hey man, shout out to Rip Radio, man. 3030 DMP, The Miz, Dream Society, Networking and Entertainment. Appreciate y'all, man. And love to be back on the show again in the future. Much love to everything y'all got going on, man. Soldier, salute.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
For sure, dog.
Hey, Slim. What's good, Joe? We from the home of Urgent Original, Go-Go, Mumble Sauce, Marvin Gaye, Martin Lawrence, Roger P. Hicks, Dave Chappelle, Samuel L. Jack, Genuine, Maya, Anne Marie, Kevin Durant, Tommy Davis, DJ Cool Wale, my number one of all time black.
See, I'ma keep it real, with my weapon on me concealed. I'm Ralphion, that nigga from up the hill, used to come through crushing in the butters. A tray deuce in my boot with a fresh box cutter. 10th place, I belong to them. Mikey Wayne funkin' them. Never was no bullies, but you don't wanna run with them. Better finances, big money advances. Daddy-daughter dances, no penitentiary chances. A made man, keep them guessing. Motherfuckers wanted steam, so I had to press them. Just so you know, I bring the chalk when I teach a lesson. When I was preaching at your door, but you ain't want the lecture. Cause y'all measure. After I put on my city, I'm done. At 15, my nigga Wayne let me bust off a gun. I ain't gon' fake, I felt the rush when I made them go run. If you grew up like I did, then you feeling me young. What you say? Southern Ave, Willow Road, while the place Livingston. Third world, South Cap to Eastover. Please tell them we good. What you say? We good. What you say? We good. What you say? We good. 10th place, Oak Park, Malcolm X, Rivertown, Temple Hill, Suitland.